friends. We're so excited that you're here for this episode of Dev Collaborative TV. I'm Sandra Eby, Design, UX, and Marketing Strategist, and today I'm talking with Johanna Bates, co-owner of DevCollab. DevCollab builds websites exclusively for nonprofits, paying extra attention to accessibility and sustainability of content design and code. If just thinking about updating your website is enough to send you to bed with a hot cup of tea, then you're in the right place. We're devoting this channel to helping you improve your nonprofit website so that you can reach more people with ease. If you're considering redesigning or updating your nonprofit's website, a big concern on your mind is likely how much will this project cost? Maybe you've heard horror stories from colleagues about web development projects that ballooned out of scope and got really expensive. Johanna is here to shed light on what drives the cost of a website project, where you can save time and cost, and where you can't. What are the things that make website redesign and rebuild projects more expensive?
The short answer is things that take more time. And that seems kind of maybe obvious, but there are kind of 5 areas where over many years, we've seen clients sort of have things that take more time pretty consistently over the course of a project. And I'm just going to quickly tell you what those are. So one is design and development. Web design can take up a lot of time if you want a complex and fancy design. And when development begins, the more variations you have in your design, the more time it's going to take. So we can talk about ways to reduce time there. The second area is stakeholder wrangling, internal capacity, and timeline. So things that have to do with the organization's role in the project. And there are many stakeholders often that have to weigh in on a web design redesign and rebuild project, and wrangling those stakeholders and your internal team to do the parts of the website project that they need to do, like content creation and entry, that can take a lot of time. So there are ways to save time there. The third area is content migration. If you have an existing site, you're going to need to get at least some of the old content, even if you're rewriting some of it or reorganizing it. Some of it is probably going to need to get put into the new site, whether that happens via script or via copying and pasting. There are ways to kind of be strategic there about how to save time and effort. The fourth area is, which CMS are you going to build in? We believe in open source content management systems for nonprofits so that they own their code base and their content database and can move to any vendor or host they want. And the 2 best open source content management systems in the world are Drupal and WordPress, and that's what we build in. And people often come to us thinking, oh, WordPress is cheaper, just build it in WordPress, but it's not always the right fit, and so it's not always cheaper to do that. And so we can talk through that with you as well and help you figure that out. And there's the short-term cost and the long-term cost to consider as well. Anyway, the last area is sort of the type of partnership you have with the team that's going to build your website, with your expert team. So is it transactional? Like you say, we want to build this, this, and this. And they said, sure. And they go ahead and build it, but maybe it wasn't the best thing to do with your budget, and maybe it makes your website less accessible, and you also wanted it to be accessible. There's all sorts of things that can go awry there. Or do you have a consultative partnership where you can discuss things and your partner has your back and can act as your advocate? That's something we can talk about too.
If I'm interested in a web development project for my nonprofit, let's say I was a nonprofit comms person or like the CEO, and I was looking for someone to redo my website or make a new one from scratch, does DevCollaborative have services that you would recommend to get started?
Yeah. If you reach out on devcollaborative.com on our contact form, we would be happy to talk with you about project ideas, plan an RFP if you need to do an RFP process, and just help you think ahead about how you want to approach something.
And what if you don't know exactly what you need and you just want to have a conversation and maybe some quick fixes? Do you have any small, get to know you kind of services?
We do. We have some services called tiny services where we can look at your site for just an hour and talk about improving editing, improving accessibility, writing better for the web. And we have consulting around protecting your site against government censorship and how to pick a content management system, Drupal or WordPress or Squarespace or Wix. So all those things you can do with a very small engagement with Dev Collaborative, or we can engage in a bigger discovery process if you're ready to do that.
Thanks. That's it then. So if you found this helpful, then like or subscribe, as they say. We would love to know what you think of DevCollab's new series and what questions or topics you'd like us to cover in the future. Share this episode with your Drupal and WordPress using colleagues who might find this helpful. As always, let's collaborate.